there was also the Father Jackson
Yeah.
thing that happened,
Gosh,
right?
yeah.
So like the Father, I
God
totally
bless
forgot
us.
about
God
that. Like
bless
the
him.
Father Jackson, because Father Jackson was so good in that documentary, and then that whole thing comes out, and you had to
He had the best line in episode 2 that obviously never saw the light of day. And
can you say what the line was?
well, yeah, he was basically saying, because I was saying, well, it was my question at the end of episode 1. It was like the cliffhanger. It says,
Right.
all right,
So what
so
happened?
yeah, what happened? Like, why do most Catholics not believe in the Eucharist? And then he leans forward, he says, a perfect storm. And then he goes into explaining, we have great priests in the Novus Ordo. In our diocese, we have great seminaries. The priests are very reverent. But then he goes on to say that it's the rite that's the problem.
Yeah.
And the way he said it was just like, yes, I got, like when you interview people, especially because I'm also an editor, I'm one of the editors on each of the films. I keep those lines in the back of my head. I'm like, okay, we got it. If this interview gives us that one line, like we got it. But yeah, so the Father Jackson stuff comes out. Lord, please bless him, bless his victims. Lord have mercy.
So okay, so we do, because people are asking what's the Father Jackson thing. Because I look, there's a lot of new trads, and they may not have known, but Father Jackson was a pretty big part of part 1. He gave some really insightful things, and everyone that knew Father Jackson thought he was like the pinnacle of the, like, if you're looking for a trad priest and you want to get some really great insights, he's the one to talk to. And then
he had a really good, really amazing book on the liturgy.
Yep.
And it just came out that he had some horrific things on his computer, the dealing with children, and it was like nobody could believe it. It was so heartbreaking because none of us believed it, because there was never even like the slightest accusation against him for anything. His people at his parish loved him. It was a really difficult thing, and I remember you struggling with what to do with that. I remember that was like a really big thing. You guys were struggling, like, should we take this out? It's kind of already there. And then you guys kind of put a re-edited version out, right?
Yeah. So we were working on episode. We're working on episode 2 that came out. And then we decided to take down episode 1. Actually, I got the news. Remember when Church Militant
of views and you had to pull it down?
We had 1.6 million views, and it was a really hard decision. It was the first decision we made was we're leaving it up. Like we're flipping filmmakers just trying to survive. Yeah. Like, yes, we made a thing. It's in the past. We have to move. We're treading water. Like, we're trying to survive. Mm-hmm. It was our split second decision, but I was on set in filming at the SSPX seminary when that Church Militant article came out. And I remember talking to my team, some really close advisors, and I finally just took time to pray about it. I was just like, well, I feel like I made like a rational, logistical decision, but I was like, well, what decision do I want to stand by, like, at the end of my life? And then so we talked with the team, like, we actually discerned it, because the frustrating thing with Church Militant at the time is they're like, what's your answer? What's the story? Like, we're publishing. It's just like, we're going to leave it. And they're like, they're leaving it. They're the worst. And I'm just like, I'm filming an interview with Bishop Fillet. Like, I can't focus on this right now.
And he hadn't pled guilty or admitted to anything at that point yet, right? Like, it was right after the accusation.
I don't remember the timeline, honestly. But so we took down episode 1, and then we had to re-edit episode 2, like the parts he was in. So we had to, okay, let's get some more footage.
Get, like, Scott Hahn interview at this point to try to fill that in there.
Yeah, exactly. So that was very difficult.
The other huge blowback you got was, does the traditional movement need a rebrand?
Yeah, I remember that.
Out, and it was, does
my
the
camera?
You say that, and he decided he doesn't want to be on camera.
Yeah, he doesn't even want to be on screen with us anymore. Because that was, we can still hear you, so
okay.
It's all right. The camera's there. But that tweet, I remember going ape crap, like all over. Everybody's losing their mind. Who does this guy think he is? He's been a trad for 10 minutes and he's trying to give us a rebrand. But like for me, like especially me, I was a new trad at that moment, at that time period, and there were a lot of annoying a-hole trads in the movement. Like they were just like these guys who it was almost like they didn't want to let anybody in. They were constantly like ragging on the new people coming in and stuff. And I remember, I think your intentions were good. Just like, hey, do we need kind of like a rebrand to give like a maybe a gentler image out there, because we're being told that is being banned.
What is a brand? It's a perception. That's all a brand is. Like when Coca-Cola does ads and you see polar bears hugging Santa, or I don't even know what they do, but they like drink.
It's all AI now.
Yeah, it is. They drink Coca-Cola in the North Pole. They're not telling you how much Coca-Cola costs or where to buy Coca-Cola. They're just trying to evoke a feeling and a perception. And all we were saying at the time was, man, we need to fix the perception, the brand of the Latin Mass. But I can totally see why people took that as, why do you need to change anything about the Latin Mass? Or who do you think you are? Like you discovered this along with us. I'm like, yeah, I'm no one, but I'm just saying, like, as an artist and seeing the online discussion rooms, like we gotta do better. You know,
it's look, there's also a thing about like this youth coming into the movement now, right? So like the trad movement up to that point had really been the Michael Matts, and it had been like a kind of an older crowd because there wasn't this youthful movement toward it. And there was something really interesting about the Francis Pontificate, which was that everybody just kind of got turned to tradition during it because it was so insane under Francis. It really was. And then you start getting, guys like Taylor Marshall talking about the Latin Mass and trying to push people to go. And then COVID hits. And when COVID hit, it was just a game changer because I think people saw the way the Eucharist is being treated by receiving in the hand, with everybody fiddling with their masks and all that stuff. So it kind of lit a fire under the movement, and a whole bunch of people that had never gone before were just like, I'm going to go check this thing out.
We filmed a live stream during COVID of the Triduum. So our parish did it all out, the Triduum, with all the glorious, trappings. And I was filming it as a live stream, and our church is empty. But 6,000 people tuned in live. It's like, we can't fit that many people in our parish, but yeah, you're right. It was a zeitgeist that grew out of control.
It was just such a bizarre time, man. You think back to it was an exciting time too, though. It was, you had this excitement about the movement back then, and how have you, man? Because under Leo, like we're all hoping there's some like loosening of the restrictions and stuff like that.